I've tailored it a little bit too, based off of really obscure information. So some of you, this might be over your head. It might even be over his head. You may not remember.
That's probably.
Pablo Cruz or Pat Benatar?
Pablo Cruz played the theme to this film called Free Ride, which was a very famous theme. But I love both of them, man. Pat Benatar, she was a mean rocker.
Single fin, twin fin, or thruster?
Or quad?
No, I must say I love them all. You know, today guys will generally just compete on one type of equipment. I mean, Kelly Slater has really opened everyone's minds that don't just ride the one board. And I was reading an interview with Kelly recently. And someone asked him a question, you know, what inspired you to ride all this different equipment? I'm not meaning to pat myself on the back at all here, but he said, you know, I was reading this old interview with Shaun Tomson. And he said, when it was small, he rode a twin fin. Is that Binky Military at the back, my old mate? He said, when it's small, he rode a twin fin. When it was mid-size, he rode a thruster, and when it was killer, he rode a single fin. He said, and it opened my eyes to, today we just ride one board. We just ride a single fin thruster, and we're all riding 5'11" by 18.5 by 2.25. I mean, that's pretty cool. I'll take that.
Do you still use your creative quick exit from tubes?
Yeah, so he's talking about a maneuver that in the Bay of Plenty where I grew up was this just long wall. It was the longest tube in the world back in the day. Peter Townend and I often have arguments. He said, we know Kira's long. And I said, come on, PT. Kira's a powder puff wave compared to what I used to ride. But it was such a long, fast wave, and we didn't use leashes, and there were sharks. We were always scared of the sharks. Then I developed a technique for churning out through the wave. I used to call it a turnout, but the name never stuck. But it's something that I still see the young guys use, and I'm proud of that maneuver because I think it's maybe saved more lives than any other maneuver in surfing.
Do you still race go-karts? Five Summer Stories reference.
No go-karts.
What do you think of George Cagetti? Georgica.
Oh, Georgia Cagetti. Oh, yeah. So that mate of mine that I pointed out the back at Binky Military took me like early 80s. So I've come over here.
Pearl on your first day.
Yeah. Hey, don't spoil my story, China. So he takes me, he says, I'm going to take you down the beach. So should be good today. I'm going, yeah, right. This is the East Coast, you know what I mean? Yeah, how good could it be? It's like August, I think it was. And like I was on the world tour and like trying to practice for the world tour. I just had a brand new thruster that Simon Anderson had made me sound like I was like re-energized. It was 1981, that's when it was. So Binky takes me down and we walk down the beach to this jetty break, Georgia Cagetti, out in the Hamptons. And I'm looking at these waves going, what? How's this possible? And these waves, it's just grinding. It's like 6+ and it's, grinding. I'm going, it's not possible. It's just not possible. These guys, I paddle out there and the first wave comes and it just comes and it just wedges up on the jetty and I'm going, yeah, East Coast wave. Now, what's this all about? And I swing around and I paddle into it, and as I paddle into it, the whole bottom drops out. Bang! Right into the sand. I'm like, East Coast, yeah. So that's actually one of the best surfs I've ever had in the United States. It was an incredible, because Hawaii's not part of the United States, you know that. It's one of the best waves I've had. It was an incredible day. Binky, you got my back there. It was a great day. Yeah, it was just a fantastic day, and that really opened my eyes like what it can be like here during the hurricanes. It was just amazing. Way better than the Quicksilver Pro. For any of you who have watched it, it was way better than that.
That's right.
And that was good.
Just for some of you, there have been a few people who asked me to ask this, and we already know. They asked if he had broken his arm at Robert Moses, and it didn't happen, right? Dispel that myth. Dead. All right. It was a long-term myth. We all heard about it growing up. What is your favorite surf term?
Skirt, man. Skirt.
What is your least favorite surf term?
Cook?
Yeah, that's a good one. I agree. Cook.
Cook.
Yeah.
What turns you on in surfing?
This is really easy. Tubes and turns. Because I really think that that's the essence of surfing, tubes and turns. And the best guys, you can see Joel Parkinson, Kelly Slater, Dane Reynolds. It's tubes and turns. The other stuff is the embroidery and the detail. The tubes and turns me on big time.
What turns you off in surfing?
I think a lack of respect for the sport, the lifestyle, and the art form. I think just that lack of respect. When I see pro guys who surfing have given them everything, and they berate and criticize and just put shit on the system that's put them on the map. I mean, I can't understand. I think it just shows abject lack of respect. So I suppose it's, you know, what pisses me off is just kind of lack of respect generally for each other in the water, or you know, what's made you who and what you are.
What surfing sound do you love?
You know, when you, well, I don't know how it is for everyone else, but I'm just telling you how it is for me. When you get inside like one of these long, incredible barrels, and that little light is just sort of spinning ahead of you, this, to me, it's silent. And that silence, it's just amazing. And that silence inside the tube, it's so special. It's because it's not, but it is. It's sort of a sense of unreality that I have yet to hear a sound in there, and I just love that sort of that moment when it's just so quiet.
I think you know what's coming up next. What surfing sound do you hate?
The sound you get when someone smacks you in the face, cold cocks you.
All right, and last one. If heaven exists, what sort of wave would you like to surf for eternity?
You know, to me, my dream wave is Jeffreys Bay in South Africa, because it has this huge, expansive wall, and it has these great tube riding sections that has turns and tubes, and yeah, that's the wave I'd like to ride off into the sunset on.
So.